Okay, this is the third time I am recording this video because every other time I've obviously had some failed attempts. This is obviously going to be about my abusive relationship, but I use the term relationship very loosely because it was actually a friendship, but it had some aspects of an actual relationship, but without the romance. I have notes right here, so if you see me look down, that's why. My mom is in the background.
Hi.
I'm recording this at 8:35 at night. Every single time there was better lighting, but now I'm using a lamp because I don't have professional lights. Let's just get to the story. Disclaimers, everything between me and this person is very good now. We do not hate each other. We are not friends. We will never be friends on the aspect that we used to be. Holly, stop biting. But we are acquaintances, I guess you could say. We still check up on each other and like be there for each other when we see that something is wrong with like going on in each other's lives. We follow each other on social media and all that. We did have our good and bad times. We did have our good times, but as you can, I will tell at the end how it ended. We did have our good times. It wasn't all just bad, but there were more bad than good. This is not meant to be malicious in any way. This is not meant to send hate towards her way. This is meant as an, like a red flag kind of thing, like to point out what you can see in what kind of red flags you should see if this is going on in your life. These are my experiences, and I am not looking for sympathy. I do not want sympathy. That is not what I'm asking for. I was gonna say something else, but I will. Okay, to start out, I have been bullied all my life, and I haven't really had friends up until this friend. I've been bullied since 2nd grade, and yeah, so I've heard basically everything I possibly can hear about my body and all that, so yeah. My mom has always taught me to treat others the way I want to be treated, so I always treated people with kindness and treated them very nicely and treated them like a friend because I wanted more friends. And so there's that. Now on to the actual story. I'm going to name this person Carrot for no significance, just I don't want to put her name out there. She was bullied for reasons too, but I will not make those reasons public. But she was one of those people that felt like if she was bullied, she has the right to bully other people to make herself feel better. So she was a bully to me in middle school. I met her my 8th grade year. She, like I said, she would bully me. She would say I'm fat and ugly and annoying and all this stuff, like things I'd always hear. But I would still treat her with respect and be like, hey, I think you're cute today. I hope you're doing okay today. You know, treat her with niceness and stuff. But you know, whatever. Then she was going to have a sleepover party for me and a bunch of her closest friends, but that ended up falling through because she then ended up moving up north for some reasons, again, that I'm not going to name personally because it's not my story to put out there. But she moved, and she didn't come back until like a year later, which I was then in 9th grade, already started high school, and she was coming back to the area that that we were obviously already in, and she messaged me on MySpace. That's how long ago this was. She messaged me on MySpace and says, hey, I'm sorry for everything I've done. I still want to be friends with you. Let's become friends and let's hang out with our friend, who I'll call Apple. Apple is one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. He's absolutely amazing. And Apple ended up not coming, but we went with another friend. That isn't really significant to the story, so I'm not going to give them a name. We ended up going looking for dresses just for fun. I needed a dress anyway because I was doing something for school later on. But you know, we were just hanging out, having dresses. We were having a really good time. So, also I am a year older and a grade higher than all my friends in this story because that's just how it is. She came back at the end of my freshman year, 9th grade year, and which would have been the end of her 8th grade year in middle school. So we hang out while she's back, and she moves back, and and then my sophomore year starts, and she starts her freshman year, which is 9th grade, 10th grade. And everything is fine and dandy, you know, whoop-de-doo, doodly-doo. And we have our first fight. I don't remember what it's about, but all I remember is that she picked the fight, and she picked when it was over and all that stuff. So, like I said, I never really had friends before, so I never knew how friends were. I didn't know that fighting wasn't a healthy thing. If you see me like looking around, it's because I have a mirror in the back because this doesn't have a flip out lens. Screen. So I'm looking to see if this camera turns off, which I hope it doesn't. It turns off after 12 minutes. But yeah, she got mad at me for something I said or something like that, and she didn't talk to me. She got really angry at me, and she just stopped talking to me. And we stopped being friends for like a couple days, and she's like, hey, I'm ready to be your friend again. And I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. But yeah, she got upset at me for any little thing I did wrong and belittled me about things instead of telling me how she felt and making things right. So she would always think that she's in the right, and she would always be like, you're wrong, so I'm going to be mad at you. Blah. She always picked the fights and picked when they were over. I just said that. She constantly bullied me even though we were friends. She, like I said before, she would call me fat and ugly and annoying. Like, even while we were friends and all that stuff, she would still be like, you are so fat, your outfit doesn't look cute, your makeup is horrible today, and all that stuff. And it wouldn't be like, oh, your makeup isn't the best today, like, maybe you should have done this, like a friend would, like, nicely. She'd be like, you did a horrible job on your makeup. Your outfit looks disgusting. You shouldn't buy that because it doesn't look good on you. Things like that, like, things that made me happy suddenly made me sad because I felt like if my friend felt this way, imagine how other people felt about it on me. This is the biggest red flag that I should have seen. Is on my 15th birthday. I always have a sleepover with my closest friends for my birthday because, like, you know, like just a few of them. And this time I had Carrot, and I had over another friend I'll name Hickama. She, Carrot told me, like, I noticed that we took the bus after school, and she was supposed to take my bus after school, and instead of to go to my house. But I'm like, I know she's getting on a different bus. I'm like, Carrot, you're not going on my bus. What are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm going to this person's house because they have party stuff, so I'll meet you at your house. And I'm like, okay, cool, I understand. Later on, I find out, not only did she not show up to my house and all that at all, but I find out that she actually went to this friend's house to get high for the first time. So, you can only imagine how I felt when I found out that she not only lied to me about party stuff and all that, but she knew that she was going to get high for the first time. So she ditched her best friend at the time to get high. Okay. She influenced me on self-harming. Okay, I used to say she forced me into self-harming, but I realized that that is wrong because she never held the razor to my wrist and all that stuff. She influenced me because she did it right in front of my face in my bedroom at the time because she was going through some family stuff. And she took one of my favorite CDs and she's like, if I keep holding this against, I'm not going to tell you how she did it because I don't want to influence anyone else. But she took one of my CDs and she did something with it. And she's like, if I keep doing this, it'll work. I'm like, no, it won't. Trust me. And so later she kept trying to do stuff with other stuff and I just got upset and I ran into the bathroom. And I guess she found another object that was successful. And she did it. And I was still crying and all that. And she came into the bathroom and she's like, thank you for letting me do that. You're a real friend. I was a real friend because I tried to stop her. Not because I allowed her to do it. I left the area because I could not stand to see my best friend at the time hurt themselves. So then later I felt like she hurt me so bad. So I want to show her how bad she hurt me by doing it. So then I fell into the hole of self-harm. I am now 6.5 years clean and I'm very proud of myself for that. Never will I ever do that to myself ever again, ever. It's not worth it. Like I said earlier, she would self-harm herself in my own home and in front of my face. Like I told you, she did it in my own home on more than one occasion. She did it, one time me and my mom were in the living room and we were watching a movie and Carrot was there and I see in my peripheral vision she's staring at a body part and she's like kind of hiding behind her purse and I'm like, Carrot, what are you doing? She's like, nothing, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, tell me what are you doing? And she's like, nothing. And she got really forceful about it and I'm like, you're self-harming, aren't you? And she's like, it's none of your business. I'm like, yes you are, give me the razors. And she's like, no, I don't have to. I'm like, Ma, she's self-harming. And so my mom went up to her and she grabbed the razors and she broke them and she threw them in the toilet. So then Carrot got very upset at me and said I'm a bad friend because I did not let her hurt herself. Then she would come over every weekend so regularly, it was a literal routine, and she would just expect that I would be at home and have nothing to do but hang out with her. It was every single weekend for years. And I would have to make sure that my doctor's appointments or something like that were on a weekday to make sure that I wouldn't get in more fights with Carrot, to make sure we didn't get in fights. Because if I wasn't home or something like that, she would get in fights, be like, you made me stay at home by myself and all that stuff. And I'm like, is my health not important? I don't understand. And then on top of that, she begged for fresh pizza every single time she came over, even though she knew we wouldn't have the funds to buy fresh pizza and it would cause us to be in debt. We would have frozen pizza, really good frozen pizza that we could just throw into the oven for a few minutes and boom, pizza. But she would always throw fits and fights and all that stuff just because she wanted fresh pizza, real pizza from a delivery place. And she would beg my mom and all that stuff, and my mom would, if you know my mom, she is the sweetest person in the whole world, and I'm not just saying that because she is my mom, I'm saying that from a normal person standing view, and she has a very hard time with saying no, a lot of the time. And my mom would have to put her foot down and be like, no, I can't, I don't have the money, and if you know our financial situation, you know that my mom is disabled and just a lot of stuff. So we do not have the money. But Carrot would be like, yes you do, just and so my mom would feel gaslighted and manipulated and all that stuff, and so she would literally pull out direct deposit advances every single month just so Carrot can have pizza and so she can shut up. And it got so bad that our direct deposit advances got canceled for a very long time, and we would be behind on bills. And on top of that, Carrot would ask for more pizza when we're behind on bills. And whenever we actually like physically could not have pizza or something like that, she wouldn't go in our fridge and make a sandwich or something like that. She'd just be like, I might as well be at home because I have no food at home either. I'm pretty sure you do have food at home, you just don't like the choices that you have. And also, why would you say that? Because like, you're basically saying you're only at my house not to hang out with me and have a good time with me, but you're only at my house to eat. I'm all for like letting my friends have a meal here and there and letting my friends eat, but only coming over to my house to eat is just unacceptable. Would get jealous or upset if I hung out with anyone else, especially without her. We have, like I said before, I have a friend named Hickama. We have a friend named Hickama. She is a very good friend of mine, and I love her to death, and I would hang out with her, and then Carrot would be like, I could have hung out with you guys, why didn't you guys invite me? I could have been there, this, that. Or I'd hang out with a friend named Guacamole. I could have been there with you guys. Why wasn't I invited? This, that. Anytime I hung out with anybody, I would be manipulated and attacked with, why wasn't I invited? I could have gone with you. This, that. Like, okay, like, I get you want to hang out with people, but, like, you obviously have other friends too, since you ditched me on my 15th birthday to go get high. Since I said I did self-harm, I fell into the hole of self-harm, and I realized that I have really bad depression and a lot of mental disorders and mental instability and all of that. So then I've been in multiple psychiatric and mental hospitals, 4 officially, 3 as a minor and 1 as an adult. The first 2 I would call up Carrot and be like, hey, I'm in the hospital, I'm sorry, this happened, blah 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 blah. She'd be like, I get it, you're getting the help you need. Totally fine, all the support I need. The 3rd time, she said, I'm not surprised. And she would not give me any support. And then when I got off the phone with her, I found out from another friend that she screamed basically at the top of her lungs to the whole entire friend group and letting other people passing by hear, guess who's in a mental hospital again? That's no one else's business except for the people that I tell. If you hear growling, it's my dog. Eating her food. She likes to play with it. She told me I was stupid whenever I self-harmed and made me feel worse. If you know anything about self-harm and depression and all that, you know that the last thing you want to do is make them, like, is call them stupid or anything like that for doing so. Like, it makes them feel worse and it makes them want to do it more because it makes them feel worse. So she would, like, call me stupid, say I'm worthless for doing that, and all kinds of stupid shit just because I wanted help. I would be like, hey, I self-harmed again. Like, why are you being so fucking stupid all the time? I asked for help, not being attacked. She lied about her own self-harm for attention. The way I know this is that she would be like, you didn't even notice I had cuts on my arms. Ugh. And then a few days later, I'd be like, what about the cuts on your arms? Like, I don't see anything. She'd be like, oh, I lied about that. What? She admitted that she lied about self-harm. Now about this next thing. I'm not gonna go into the whole entire story about this because it's not my story to tell. But she once told me I lost my virginity. I'm a woman now. I've been through it all. Okay. Sorry, I'm having too much fun doing this video. I need to calm down. Influenced and peer pressured me into stealing from stores. I used to say she forced me into stealing because I thought she did. But I later realized that she did not put the item in my hand and force my hand into my purse and make me leave. No, it was my doing. I will not have any excuse for that, but she did influence and peer pressure me into it. It started out at Forever 21 and I'm like, oh, I really like this nail polish. I don't have any money though. I'll try to get it next time or something. She's like, just take it. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. That's stealing. And she's like, just take it. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna take it. Like, seriously, like, that's bad. And she, like, looked at me dead in the eyes. And she, like, made me feel so bad at myself. And she's like, just fucking take it. And I was like, holy shit. So I just put it in my purse. And I was, like, so skeptical. I was like, holy shit, they know what I just did. Oh my god. And after that, I fell into a hole of stealing. Not very much. And I've learned my lesson because something bad did happen. That's another story. That's another video. But, I will never steal again. It's been a pretty long time. So good for me. Don't steal. Don't ever steal. She got jealous even more when me and Cheyenne started hanging out. I have permission from Cheyenne to use her real name. She does not care. She is very secure of what's going on, so do not attack me for using Cheyenne's real name. I have talked it out with her. Cheyenne is a friend that we had in middle school when we first met, but Cheyenne then later moved away to a different state for reasons that I will not name because it's not my story. But then she moved back to our area for, again, reasons I will not say because it's not my story to tell. When Cheyenne moved back, I immediately felt very safe and accepted and very just warm inside as soon as like she came back, because me and her did not have the best friendship in middle school because Carrot always told her lies about me, and so she just immediately was like, oh, I don't like this girl. But later on she got to like meet me, and we both grew up like a few years because it was obviously high school and that was obviously middle school. But me and Cheyenne are the best of friends now. We only had one altercation in our whole entire like almost 5 years of friendship. Holy shit. Like true friendship. And she made me feel safe. But I started hanging out with Cheyenne more often. And I started going to Cheyenne's house a few weekends and all that stuff. And like, you know, because that's what friends do. We go to each other's houses, we spend the night together, we hang out. That's what best friends do. And Carrot got so defensive because she had to stay at home alone and she had to do nothing at home and all this stuff. And I'm like, you obviously have other friends. Like, why don't you do stuff with them? Like, I'm not your only friend. So she was attacking, she said, my best friend stole my best friend. No one stole anyone from anyone. I still put in effort to Carrot while I was putting in effort to Cheyenne. Like, I'm allowed to have more than one best friend. Like, there's no, like, you just said you had two best friends. Like, my best friend stole my best friend. Okay, so why aren't I allowed to have two best friends? So, okay. She even told me that, Carrot even told me this later on. She felt like I was dumping her for Cheyenne, which I was not. I even told her I tried to make plans with her while Cheyenne was out doing other things, or I tried to even it out. I invited Cheyenne and Carrot and Guacamole, and I think even Jicama over for a birthday party, like my 17th birthday party or something like that, all to sleep over. But Cheyenne couldn't make it because she was grounded for grades. And then Jicama, I think, had something to do, so it was only Guacamole and Carrot. And so, yeah, and Guacamole and Carrot were, like, really close. Like, they were spending more time together at the birthday party than they were with me. Like, I wasn't even offended. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, you guys are best friends, too. Spend as much time as possible as you want. Like, I get it. But, yeah. Now, the last fight that definitely broke the straw that broke the camel's back was she came over, she got a brand new iPhone. This was December of 2012. She got a brand new iPhone for Christmas / her birthday, because her birthday is around Christmas. And she came over to download music on it because I introduced her to a lot of music and she liked it, and I always had music on my laptop. Same. And I guess me and my mom were like fighting a little bit, and she and I guess I got angry and just annoyed, and so her phone was done syncing and downloading music. So when it was done, I pulled out the plug out of my laptop and I gave it to her. What Carrot saw was I yanked it out and threw it to her. It was a brand new cord. So highly doubtful that I like did any damage to it because it's brand spanking new. And so she's like, why the fuck did you just yank that cord out of there? And I'm like, I didn't do that, like I just took it out. She's like, yeah, you did, I just witnessed it with my own eyes. I'm like, I'm sorry that you think that. I swear I only pulled it out, but if I did yank it, I'm sorry, I don't remember it, but okay. Then she goes off saying, that doesn't make any sense. And so I'm like, okay, to each their own. But later on, she tells me that her cord isn't working and that I need to buy her a new one. Now, if you remember me saying that me and my mom do not have the best, like, financial situation. So we can't afford, I know, a cord's only $5. We can't afford that. But we can't afford a new cord. So she gets really mad and she gets her dad to call me and be like, I'm gonna sue you if you don't buy her another cord. I'm not gonna buy her another cord. That's her cord. She needs to treat it with respect. I didn't yank it. It's not my fault. She then calls me a few days later and she's like, I'm sorry, it's not the cord, it's the adapter. You know, the little square thing that you plug into the wall? It's the adapter. I found that out. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So then she gets mad, she still stays mad at me or something like that, and I'm just over this whole entire thing. And, like, she gets mad at me because I'm over it, and I don't want to be friends with her anymore. I don't want to be friends with her anymore, so she gets mad at me even more because I refuse to still be her friend. So then I find out she tells people that she's that she's threatening to beat me up as soon as she sees me at school and all this stuff, but she ends up not. She sees me all over the place and not beats me up and just passes by me and gives me fake smiles and all this stuff. So she was really two-faced. She was fake. She was only trying to, she was all bark and no bite. Then later on, I would hear her say she needs to go kill herself. I wouldn't care less if she killed herself. She can kill herself for all I care. All this stuff. And then I'm like, if you know anybody, if you know anything about being depressed and suicidal tendencies and all that, you know not to ever tell them to kill themselves. Because you know that if they end up killing themselves and it ends up getting tracked back to you saying that, you can get trialed for murder because you basically did, because you like put that in their brain and you made them feel that way. But yeah, that was it basically. She told me to kill myself. She always blackmailed me, not blackmailed me, but she peer pressured me, gaslighted me, manipulated me, all kinds of stuff. the way I got out of it is that I literally just surrounded myself with people that I knew cared about me. I knew would not do that to me, like Cheyenne, Guacamole, and Jicama. And I just did not like associate myself with carrot anymore. I couldn't do it at all ever again. So yeah, like, so to my knowledge is that if you're in any kind of mental or emotionally abusive relationship, is to just get out of it as soon as you can, and just surround yourself with people that really do love and care for you and do not do that to you, obviously. But if you're in a physically abusive relationship, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. I hope you are able to get out of it as soon as you can and safely. But I have never been in a physically abusive relationship, so I'm sorry. Only thing I can say about that is call authorities, do what you can, leave, especially if you're living with that person, move in or stay with someone that you know is safe for you, all this cliche stuff. But the negative outweighed the positives. The bad outweighed the good in our friendship and relationship, so I could not stay in it. I realized my worth. I realized I had a voice and I needed to use it, because the whole entire time I was friends with her, I did not feel like I had a voice. I did not know I had a voice. And finally I was like, you know what? I gotta speak up. I gotta stop all this. I cannot take shit from anyone else anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being the victim. I'm not having it anymore. So, yeah, my next video will be about my mental health, how and why I got off my medication, and like my whole entire medication and mental health journey / history. So stay tuned for that. I do not know when it will go out, because I'm currently using a friend's camera, because I don't have my own yet. And so please stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you want to. Like this if you like the video. Comment if you think this will help you. My social media will be down below if you want to talk about anything. And yeah, so stay safe, stay lovely, and be you, and yeah, bye!